Well, it was really hard because my sister Nora was, I think, from her first word she spoke, she knew she would be a writer.
Right.
And she was
she's the older sister.
She was my older sister by 3 years, and I was the first thing that happened in her life that she had no control over. And so she became the best and the bossiest older sister, and I wanted to do everything she did. I mean, I was pathetically following in her footsteps.
Wow.
She would run for offices and lose, and I would run for offices and lose. It was like I was imitating everything she did. And when I finally became a writer, the first thing that happened was that I wrote a piece called How to Eat Like a Child. I was sitting at home eating chocolate pudding my way. It was like that kind that you cook where it has a little skin on the top, and I'd made a little hole in the top, and I was scooping the pudding out. And I was 32 years old. That's important. And I had decided I was going to be a writer. I had 2 years of money in the bank if I lived very cheaply, and I was down to my last $200, which would have been $400 if I hadn't fallen in love with an orange coat. But, okay, so I'm eating chocolate pudding my way, and I suddenly thought, oh my gosh, I'm eating like a child. And I wrote this very deadpan piece about how children eat food. The Oreos, you know, like your Malamar where you peel the chocolate off the top, and then you eat the graham cracker bottom, and then you leave the marshmallow between the cushions of the couch, like that kind of thing. And I sold it to the New York Times, to the Sunday magazine section. They ran it on the back page. And it was a huge hit.
Right.
And I was offered a book contract the next day. But it was the first time I looked at that and I thought, oh, that's who I am. Wow. And I was 32, and I did not know until then what my identity was. But I knew it from that. And I think when you're a writer, you know, what do I think? What do I know? What do I understand? What are my stories? That's the most important thing that you have to figure out as a writer, because your writing is your fingerprint.
Right.
And nobody can do what you can do.
Right. But that's so much harder to know when you have an older, famous sister
It
writing.
was hard.
And,
I mean, it took me to 32 to get there. But, my God, thank God I did. But I always knew when we began collaborating on movies that it was so important for me to have my own identity, that I needed to continue to write books, and so I did.